I used to drink every night when I worked in the mining industry. I partied every weekend until I realized that I could do it differently. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can as well. The other week when I was out on site, I was talking to an older gentleman called Steve, and he was talking to me about his health process and how he has all these different multivitamins, trains every day and brings his dumbbells out and feels really good overall. But what he said to me, which I think you might relate with, is I've come to realize that I only need 5 hours sleep a night and I function perfectly on that. And for the first time in his life, he'd been challenged on that. Because I said to him, I said, well, why do you think that? Why do you believe that 5 hours of sleep is enough? Because every single piece of literature that I've ever heard on sleep is that 7 hours is the minimum and 9 hours is around the optimal. So 7 to 9 hours. And he goes, you know what, Blake? You're probably right. I've probably just settled for that. That's what I want to debunk in this video, is how most people in the mining industry, us, and I mean, external to that as well, but they're the people I know the most, are settling for normal. And it might be you're settling for normal in your health, your energy, the way that your communication is with your partner, the way that you wake up and how you feel, the way that you treat yourself, the way that you talk to yourself, whatever it is. At some point you decided that okay is okay. And I'm here to tell you that it's not. And I'm also here to tell you that there is a process that I follow that helps me to overcome that. And I want to share that with you a little bit later in this video. I was out on site a couple of weeks ago after talking with Steve, and I was talking to a few other lads that I work with, and we're just talking about health. And health seems to be a really easy one for us to understand about when it comes to feeling normal and accepting normal and accepting feeling shit. And a couple of guys that I work with, they're around the same age as me, 30 years old. A couple of them are a little bit older. And one of them particularly said that what he's recognized is that his testosterone has dropped a lot. Like his libido's down, his energy's a bit flatter. And so what he's tried to do to, I guess, compensate that has been to use fasting. And I asked him, I said, why are you fasting? Like, what made you pick that? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I heard some guy talk about it one time and he had really great results. And I was like, that's cool, but what made you believe that that would be the right process for you? And with that, we started talking a little bit more, and he shared with me that he believed that his energy levels had just gotten lower because of age. And that was him accepting a state of normal. And I said, yeah, there's probably parts of health, and I'm not a doctor or a health expert by any stretch, but there's aspects of your health that, yeah, sure, they do deplete with time and with age, but settling for that being your reality forever, I don't think that is how it has to be. So I was able to introduce him to some of these questions that I'm going to share with you in just a minute. Helped him to go, oh shit, I can do something different. So if you got a pen and paper, I want to just share these couple of questions with you so you can write them down, and then starting from tomorrow or even today, you can start to answer those questions for yourself and start to realize and recognize that just because you are the way you are right now doesn't mean that you have to stay this way forever. And particularly if you feel like shit, you don't have to feel like shit forever. First question is, and it's a pretty confronting one, I will be honest, but is, what don't you like about yourself right now? That could be in your health. It could be in your body image. It could be in your energy. It could be in your career, your relationships, whatever it is. There's something for you right now that you're not happy about, but you've accepted it. And so that goes me to the next question, is how long have you been accepting this? How long have you accepted that how you feel, how you look, how you talk to your partner, you've accepted that, and deep down you know that you want to change, you just don't know how, and so you've just stayed that way. The third question, what would better look like? And yes, that's a big broad question and it might not be specific enough, but I want to invite you to consider what better could look like. And you might be thinking, but Blake, I'm been this way forever, I don't fucking know, you need to tell me. And unfortunately I can't tell you just yet because I don't know your situation enough. But the easiest way that you can answer this question, if you don't know how to, is whatever you wrote down in the first question, what is the complete opposite of that? So if you wrote down that I don't like how I feel when I wake up in the morning, the complete opposite of that is I want to like how I feel when I wake up in the morning. If it's something with your relationship, my partner doesn't say I love you anymore, I want my partner to say I love you. If it's something with your career, it's like I hate my job, I love my job. And they're really big, broad prompts, but take that with a grain of salt and apply it to your specific situation. The fourth question I want you to answer is, why is that important to me? What I've come to find is that having a purpose, a meaning, a why behind everything that we want to do gives us more courage, more energy, and more motivation when times get harder, when we're trying to make change. And the fifth one is, what will you do tomorrow to start? So on that road to achieving what better looks like, or to having better, what's something you can do tomorrow? What's something simple, an action step? Is it, I'm going to wake up 3 minutes earlier and wash my face with water, or I'm going to do 5 push-ups, or when I call my partner, I'm going to tell her I love her, or I'm going to give her a compliment, or I'm going to write my gratitude journal. Just pick one thing that you can do tomorrow to start. Like me, like Steve, like everyone else that I work with, which is over 1,000 people now, it's the small incremental steps that allow you to debunk that sense of normal. In recap, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you've been accepting normal in how you feel and how you look and how your relationship is for too long, know that you can change. That's the first part. Know that you can change. And being normal, well, accepting normal is just a belief that you hold. And the second part, once you define what better looks like, what can you do tomorrow or today to start to change that? Hope that's helpful. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.